we have a lot of rumors and a lot of stuff going around about the Ark of Gabriel. And somebody brought it up with me during the conversation. So I feel responsible. Somebody is learning, all right, and walking in the path of the one true God and the Messiah, that they know the truth so they don't thwart. Because Satan will throw a lot of things in there, a lot of false books, Adam and Eve, and all this other stuff. All right, Enoch Jasher official. I won't get into the books and all that other stuff, but he'll throw in stories and other attributes to sway you from the truth. So the Ark of Gabriel, false, fact, fiction, what? Before I get into it, I first want to speak about the separations of nations. If you have nations separated and people begin being put in sanctions such as Russia, all right, if you have an Arabic nation, which is one of the biggest revenue for the United States, carries $150 billion of its assets and gives us money on the big revenue side for buying all of our weapons, do you think actually they would give up a mass weapon of destruction by some Satanized angel that pretended to be Gabriel, all right, to Russia? The answer is no. Do you think America will let anything go in and out toward Russia? No. After these sanctions and lining everything up? No. All right, I left links below about the Stampede and the whole 9 yards. All right, so the answer is no. And if you actually think that your gas is cheap because of something that this country did, the answer is no to that also. They dropped the oil down and the barrel of the oil prices down for a reason. That's to choke out the dollar of Russia and all of them. Why? Because of this one world thing that they're trying to do and get everybody and all the countries in on, which is why if nobody signed up, they're just going to import, export between each other. All right? So, with further ado, who are the Arabic nations? All right, do you need to be concerned? You don't need to be concerned if you're on the one true path and you're spiritually attuned. All right, because understand something. Nothing can thwart your path once you're with the one true God and the Messiah and in the gospel and the word, following the laws by faith in works, people. So, with further ado, and that being said, the Ark of Gabriel is not real. Because there's no way in the world that would happen. Even with the religion sections and them going up there to talking to each other after 1,000 years, has to do a barter and trade in the separations of nations to try to bring some resolution to the sanctions and what's going on. All right, so that is the reason why. But what does the Bible have to say about this? All right, and the scriptures, and who are these people? All right, the Arabic nation is from Hagar. They are 12 tribes of nation. They are a nomadic nation that used to worship different gods, Baal and every other god out there. Mosaic, they're the ones that worshipped, all right, the same 5-star god of Moloch that you see. The cow god with the horns and the 5 and the 6 stars, which is the Star of David, that came from Brian Mayer, that was one of the biggest barter and trade and had the banking systems and everything way back then before he changed his name to Rothschild and the whole 9 yards, and the red star turned into that blue Star of David, which came from Moloch. They are the Moabites and Ammonites, which is why I speak about not every Israelite is an Israelite. You got to watch out because they could be them. There are Lot's kids from, all right, that came up and then mixed with Hagar, Moabites and Ammonites. That is them. All right, they are the Ishmaelites. They are also part of them also. So their whole little crew, nomadic tribe in the whole 9 yards, which didn't come into the Middle East until 200 to 220 AD. Did not find religion until, all right, Muhammad did not find religion, which Gabriel, the Hebrew name, woke him up to until 720 AD. And how that goes, all right, is that they put him in the chokehold 3 times, all right, until he sat down and could read. And from what I understand anything about the characteristics of Gabriel, he would never put nobody in a chokehold. So who was this man feeling some kind of way? Unless we go back 2,500 years before they got accepted in, and we see in our scrolls, Yeshua told us, do not be fooled by it, because even Satan could pretend to be an angel of light. So with that being said, Satan to put him in the chokehold to make him see. After doing that, he went to Mecca, didn't coexist in Mecca when God. He went to Medina, turned into the political system, put the religion with the political system, conquered Mecca, and then bam. Now you got the Crusade Christians over here fighting and doing their atrocities, and you got these people doing their atrocities over here with the Muslim religion. Then you got the Khazarians. All right, with the Rothschilds and the Brian May and all this stuff, the biggest barter trade, importing, exporting over there in the Western European section. All right, they were doing paganistic things. They had to convert because of what was going on. So with all that going on, they chose Judaism. Converted to Judaism, built a lot of synagogues, went into Russia. This, you got your 500 years there, and then boom, bada bing. All right, with that being said, all right, now we see who they are. They didn't come in and start all of this stuff until after. Almost 1,000 years after. And what do the scriptures say about these people? With all these different religions and everything else, were they doing the same thing with all this other stuff with Baal and Molech and the whole 9 yards? Boom. Yeah, they were. There is no such thing. All right, that's one of their mystical ways. If you read any other thing and talk to any other regular Muslim, they're going to tell you, oh, that's one of the mystical things about, you know, this, that, and the third. And if you think Satan would have that kind of power with the Lord and his people still on here, and all this ark being found, and knowing that Satan has copycatted everything that Yahweh has done from the beginning of time, to try to put in a race of people, to try to put in false religions. He tried to copy you. We back then had to sacrifice cows and sheep and all that other stuff, and we send the billy goat up to the mountain, and then daggone up there to Satan. All right, and then next thing you know, he would sit down and have the same sacrifices out of his little nations and all this other stuff with the false gods, and they were sacrificing little girl babies and kids and everything, which is where Easter and everything else comes from. Guys need to be spiritually in tune. Stay on that path. Don't let this distort you. All right? Because there's no way in the world Russia would have that with all this stuff going on if it actually existed, which it doesn't. So what does the scripture say about these people? It says in Jeremiah 3:2, it says, lift up your heads to the desolate heights and see where you have not lain with men. By the road you have sat for them like an Arabian in the wilderness. You have all right, and you have polluted the land with your harlots and your wickedness. We see that there's races and nations, no matter where they go, they pollute the land, they cause atrocities, and they live by the fruit of the land, by the sword. This goes all the way back to Mesopotamia times, because I could sit down here and show you that look at the Syrian and Mesopotamia times, the crescent moon with the wreath that we see on a dollar bill, the sun, excuse my drawing, the sun with the smiley face, right there, Mesopotamia times, again in Syria, we see the signs of Baal. This is the signs of Baal. What do you see? The same thing in Mesopotamia and Baal. We turn it this way, you get the crescent moon of the Muslim religion. That's why I said, do not be fooled. Ark of Gabriel does not exist. Now, Baal was the son of the supreme Canaanite. He was the son of the supreme Canaanite. I broke down the haplogroups and let you know a lot of the Ashkenazis don't even realize that DNA and haplogroup wise, if you look, they look like some Middle Easterns, and they're actually related to them. Numbers. All you do is look at the nose and all that other stuff. Numbers 25:3. So Israel has yoked himself to Baal of Pur. And where was Pur at? It was Iran, Turkey, Iraq, in the area by the Dead Sea. Judes 8:21. And Gideon arose and killed Zebeth and Zalmunna, who were the Ishmaelites. He took the crescent ornaments that were on their necks of their camp. The Ishmaelites were also called the Anamites. Back then, they were a Semitic people who were closely related to the Israelites, which is why we call them our cousins. In the Quran, you do not know this, they know this, and they will not tell you. They have a story. How does the story go? The story says, it goes on to tell how the fallen angels were the one that brought the Israelites and all of them and the Hebrews out of slavery, out of Egypt. They parted the sea, they were the light, they brought down the bread, and all this other stuff. They tell them all of this. And while they're telling them in this story, they're saying, we. In the scrolls, it sit down and says that the one true God did. But see how Satan lies? He tells the truth, but then he says, we did it with a lie. All right? And with that lie, they fall for that lie. So in their Surat, and during one of the stories, in the Surat al-Bagara, which is called the cow story, it says, O children of Israel, call to mind the special favor which I bestowed upon you, that you were preferred to all others. This is a demon talking to them, letting them know about the Israelites. Then it says, say ye we believe in God. Remember, the fallen angels again, talking to him, Satan, pretending to be the angel of light, talking to Muhammad. He said, say we believe in God and revelation given to us, and to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel that have been given to Moses and Yeshua, all right, which is Jesus, and that were given to all of the prophets from their Lord. Now in the Surat el-Agabat, which is called the spider, this is what it says. It says, and we. Once again, we. There ain't no I in we, because there's only one I when it comes to the great I am. So why do they keep saying we? And this is in the Quran. It says, and we gave Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and ordained among his progeny. Progeny means lineage, bloodline, so on and so forth. And they're ordained among the progeny, the lineage, genealogy, prophethood, and revelation. But they won't tell you that. They'll keep lying and tricking you and throwing all this other stuff. I never forget when Putin came out and said something about the aliens, and if Obama doesn't tell America he is, they started throwing stuff on the internet about aliens in the sky and all this stuff to throw people off, and he was talking about the aliens in the foreign land like back in the days they used to talk, which was the Israelis in that land. And the month after, Times Magazine had the daggone president of Egypt saying they left here black and came back white. All of this stuff is about religion. They know it. They have the scrolls. Understand something. Hitler went around to all the nations and tried to conquer them, but he was snatching up all the relics. When we went and did all that stuff in Iraq, down there America did, and all those atrocities, whatever went on, they turned around, didn't worry about the gold, the money, no nothing. The first thing they did was get the antiquities, the scrolls, the tablets, and everything out. That was the first thing they made sure that was safe, and they got them. Not for daggone ancient purposes, because they carry knowledge and power in them. So the Ark of Gabriel does not exist, and there's no way in the world if it did. You don't think they would have used it even if they could not touch it? And then that doesn't even make any sense, because what is some Catholics and an Orthodox all the way in Russia doing, coming over and touching something that is not of God? Remember, God said, if it's not of me, rebuke and leave it alone, because stay on this path. We already know that the Catholics and a lot of them do with the statues and 100 yards is not of God. So how in the heck would they have power unless it's of Satan? Because only Satan can throw it off Satan. Only Satan is about Satan. Only God can throw it off Satan, is what I meant. Excuse me. So with that being said, no, the Ark of Gabriel is false. It's not real. These are these people. This is who they come from. They've been doing this for a long time in different matters, shapes, and forms for a very long time. The first unification that they've ever had since the beginning of them coming into the livelihood of the universe, all right, is the Muslim religion. And it was already spoken of that was going to happen 2,500 years before, when Yeshua told you about the angel, Satan pretending to be an angel of light. So let's stay on the path of God and of righteousness, and don't be fooled on the outside. And remember, wear the armor of God, because only within the one true God can you conquer anything from the outside and defeat Satan from thwarting you from lies, deceptions, and sorcery.